Hey y'all, so I am here because I haven't actually done a video for IGTV in a long time, and I am just leaving the My Entrepreneur Brunch that I came down to Philly, that Knick-Knack Interior she hosted, and it was a panel of a dynamic group of women, and I'm just feeling like good right now, and I wanted to come on and just impart some of the knowledge that they shared with us. And it was uplifting for me. You know, many people ask, like, you've been in business for so many years, why would you go to a workshop that is for people who are just starting businesses? But this is my thing. You can learn a lesson from anyone. And the women that were on the panel, particularly Nikki, I've watched her journey on Instagram. I followed her for a long while, and hustle unmatched. Like, I'm a hustler, but hers is just on another level, and it's like a humble, quiet kind of brag. Like, right now I'm watching her Instagram, her trick out her house that she just bought, and it's just like, you have to surround yourself around women who are on another level so you can level up with them. And something that was said to me many years ago is, you keep your circle small, and then you keep your circle with people who are uplifting for you, and you reach out to people you can learn from. So I came 100 miles all the way down here to ask her to coach me, because I'm trying to make moves, and I'm trying to do it on a level that I don't have a skill set or a knowledge set on, and she has those skills that I want to just tap her mind with. So I came down here and I got her number, so I'm pumped, right? Because I'm gonna be calling her, and I have a whole list of things that I want to see happen with Petite Seats. But like I said, I've reached this knowledge ceiling, so to speak. So I know I'm not gonna learn this in no book. I'm not going to learn it from YouTube. I need to talk to people who are doing it and who are doing it well. So that was the impetus for me coming down here. It was just a dynamic group of women. Like, I'm going to just give you some tidbits, some of the notes that I wrote down, because they were credit repairers, they were daycare owners, they were event rental owners, there was a realtor, there was a caterer, and all of these women shared one common thing. They were all go-getters, they were all hustlers, and they never gave up. And they talked about failures, they talked about being discouraged from pursuing businesses, they talked about all of these things, but they never gave up. And I felt like I needed to be in that space, because people that follow me, they know what's going on in my career, right? My 9 to 5. And that whole journey has been very, very draining and very discouraging for me. But at the same time, I needed to have conversations with women who have just completely said, fuck a 9 to 5. I'm going to invest in me and do my business. Like, that's where I'm at right now. Like, that tightrope of staying or going. And I needed that, extra push to talk to women who have done it. And I had 2 private conversations with people today that just, they gave you that sister girl pat, and you got it, run with it. And I needed to hear that. I needed to get that round of encouragement from people who were doing it. And it doesn't matter how many followers they have on Instagram. It doesn't matter how much their business pulls in. It's just listening to their story and watching or listening to their story and just being in their presence. Like, this whole energy and this frequency that they give, they emit, it's just, it's great, it's dynamic. And I want to just say, I oftentimes thought that I may be further in my business if I took a partner, right? And they talked about this today, and it was just like, yes, in the back of my head, I'm snapping, because I'm like, I needed to hear this today. So they said, first of all, you don't always have to take the leap and leave your job in order to be an entrepreneur. Like, many people feel that you have to do that, but you don't. And when you're looking for investors and you're looking for money, yes, people have to understand that you want to be all in, right? So this idea that an investor is not going to take you seriously if you are still riding that tightrope of a 9-to-5 and running your business. So that's something that, I have to consider. And then the idea that nothing really matters but quality, consistency, and good customer service, right? They all said that about business. And that's the only thing that always comes back to you. Nikki said a quote, hold on, about Jay-Z. Hold on, let me find it because it made me laugh. So you know how people always say, I put you on, I gave you that $100 to buy your first whatever. And what she said, Jay-Z said about Damon Dash was, you made me, will make another me, right? So this idea that people will always try to say that they did something for you and you owe them something, but at the end of the day, if you can't remake what you supposedly made, then you didn't, it's all on me. It's my blood, sweat, and tears. I think Drake has a song, a line in the song where he says, you wasn't shooting with me in the gym. So back to the point of hiring or looking for a business partner. Like, it's okay to do it solo. It's okay to do it by yourself because you are the one with the passion and the drive. It's very hard to find somebody to match your hustle. It's very hard to find somebody to match your stick-to-itness, right? And that's cool. That's okay. But what you can do is look for investors. You don't need a partner, but you can look for investors that have no problem, supporting that hustle and that drive that you have. And you have to be a beast, like beast mode for real. Who's that? Marshawn that says that? It's beast mode out here. And when you have a dream and you're looking for someone to fund it, they need to see that beast mode in you in order to really, invest fully. They talked about, this whole social media and how it's fooling people, right? And I actually posted on my private page about this whole idea of social media and how it's like, I don't even post about stuff. I forget what the quote was. It says something like, I don't even post about the stuff you brag about or something like that. And it's true. Like, social media is a mirage. It's fake, right? So you can have 100,000 followers, but that doesn't translate to sales and revenue. So don't look at somebody's social media as the measure of the success of their business. So they spoke about that. And I'm just going to read quotes to you. So this is all from Nikki right now, Knick Knack Interiors. And she said, the winner is made at the end of the journey. So you cannot think that all of the lessons and the hardships that you go through were the end. Like, you may work 2-3 years and not see the fruits of your labor until that 4th year. But do not give up. She also said, you got to get it, or you give it to me the hard way. So what she was talking about is you this idea that if you're comfortable, you're not really doing much. Like, you have to be uncomfortable in order to see true success and true change, because then you're doing something. You're pushing buttons. You're on the cusp of change, and that's where you want to be. Another quote she said that I loved was, I can't tell you what floor I pushed to get to my floor, but I promise you I took the steps. I gotta say that again because that was like, yes. So she says, I can't tell you what floor I pushed to get to my floor, but I promise you I took the steps. So that resonates for people who are constantly like in your DMs or on your emails asking you for advice and guidance, right? And resources without even doing the work. Like, if you haven't even done the work, what is it? How is it going to serve you for me to tell you how I got here, right? If you're not willing to do the work or haven't struggled and done anything, me giving you a blueprint is not serving you in any way. So the idea that she said is that opportunity and preparation have to be together. Like, those two things have to work together in order to get what you need. So she called it effective execution. And that's it. That is it. Like, you can't have one without the other. Opportunity and preparation. So whatever it is you planned for and you worked and you struggled, just know that when that opportunity comes, you're ready. It's go. I think when I went to Miami, Trisha Smith Brown said this. She said, you stay ready so you never have to get ready. And that's what it is, all the way. So I can't remember the sister's name, but she said, if you want to be successful, iron sharpens iron. And if you are the biggest or the best or the most shiniest person in your circle, you need a new circle. Like, you need to level up. And she talked about where she lives at in New Jersey and how, you know, the woman in her community, they talk about, you know, their pilots on their private jets and everything like that. So it's like, level up. You have to come outside of that box, that going back to what Nikki said about being comfortable and being uncomfortable in situations in order for you to sharpen that iron and go to the next level. And she talked about bragging differently. She said, I don't brag about the bags that I have. And she gave an example of how when she was traveling to Italy, and, you know, she's all like, yeah, I'm going to buy Chanel and Louis Vuitton. And the woman there, Italian woman, was like, no, we don't wear those brands, right? And she was just like, what? No, we're on another level. So at that point, she said to herself, you know, I'm going to brag different, because other people that have it, they brag differently. And this idea that she's going to brag about where she wants to be. So for me, I'm a brag to say Petite Seats is going to be franchised, right? And I just got my I just got my trademark, clap it up, and I'm going to start working on those licensing agreements, right? I'm going to start to create that, what am I calling it? That franchising agreement and that material, because that is how I'm leveling up. And that's how I'm bragging, right? We ain't bragging about where we going or nothing like that. Nah, chief. This is what we doing. We franchising. So, another thing they talk about is hiring. You know, you hire for your weakness. So if you're not good at sales and marketing, or not sales, but if you're not good at marketing and digital marketing, then you hire somebody who is expert at that and let them teach you. Let them be your resource within your company. And this is something that, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes, but this is something that struck me. So she said, you know, people are always harping about people not supporting their business. But if I have a client, right, and this happens to me a lot, I have a client who pays my invoice in full and everything is good, no concerns, no nothing. How can I then be mad when they don't give me the pictures? I can't, because they've supported my business already. They paid that invoice. So you can't get mad at someone or expect them to do a shout out or at on social media when they've already paid you. That was them supporting you. So that was something that I thought about, and you know, it's something that I'm always posting. I need pictures, but then at the same time, I thought, like, you know what? They have already supported me, and I'm sure on the back end, at the party, they're telling like, oh yeah, this is the company that I use. So that referral is much more beneficial to me than an ad on Instagram. What else did they talk about? It was so many things. Oh, this idea of being a boss. You know, what they said is you have to become what you want to see, right? So if you say you want to be the top broker in your firm or whatever, you have to become that. So a woman that was sitting next to me, she talked about being a event rental space, and she went to this meetup with other event rental people, and she was turned off because she felt targeted by something, a comment that was made. And the advice to that was, forget all of that. You start your own group, right? You create your own community, and you become what you want to see. So if you didn't get what you needed from that group, you create your own damn group, and you become that you use that leverage to start a community for like-minded people that you vet. And basically, don't think that everybody's going to understand your vision, because they're not. What else? Hold on. I talked about that. Okay, hold on. I'm on my last page. So I talk about this with my husband all the time, because like we are hard as shit on our kids, and it's something that many parents, like parents that I've seen, a lot of parents, they say they want things for their children, but then they don't require excellence, right? So this idea that everything you do has to be excellent. And so I believe it was Nikki who said, don't be around anyone that is okay with mediocrity. Don't do it. And for me as a parent, and in me as business too, you can never be complacent with just being okay. You can never be complacent with just doing the bare minimum. And if you're saying you want to level up and be this boss, you can't just accept the okie doke, right? And the people in your circle, or who you socialize with, or your group, should not allow that at all. So if you're in a group of people and you do something that's effed up, or you fuck up or whatever, and they check you, that is what you want. You want people to be in your text like, bitch, what's going on? Like, take that down because that's not appropriate or whatever. That is what you want when you are, you know, I have that with my sisters. Child, they be on me. But you want that that consistency and that what are we calling that? I call it my advisory board. But you want that kind of circle that is going to constantly push you to excellence. Another thing that she said that made me laugh is, she said she knew she made it when her account wasn't overdrawn for a full year. And I laughed my ass off because, yeah, you could really say you made it when your account, excuse me, hasn't been overdrawn. Ooh, I don't have no water in here. And as a business owner, ooh, when we talk about that, this is one of my kids' stuff. I hope it ain't no backwash or nothing, but we're going to drink it. That business account, child, it be fluctuating, because I don't want to touch my savings. So that the regular account that I use for paying out bills and stuff, child, if you saw how many negatives. But you know, that whole idea that if you haven't experienced that, if you haven't experienced going in your car to cry and bawl and black out because of some disappointment or some trial or just something that just didn't go well, like, you can't really call yourself a boss. Like, you really have to go through it. So the quote that she said was, you can't get to Z until you hit every letter. So you can't get to Z until you hit every letter. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you could be on G for several months, right? But you gotta go through all 26 before you get to that end. So that's back to her point of what she said is it's the end of the journey that makes the winner. And you can't do it scared. You can't do it scared. You know, the worst thing is you not trying. So that's where you at. And then I'm going to end this. You see on here I got Tulum because, you know, I'm trying to get there. But I'm going to end this with the closing sentiment was that you cannot, back to the whole thing about social media, you cannot study other people, right? Because you won't graduate. This is what was said. You can't study other people because you won't graduate. You have to study yourself and focus on your paper. Like they tell you in school, focus on your paper, focus on your account, your social media account, focus on you. And, you know, I say this a lot, especially when I'm coaching. I don't follow a lot of people. Like, I have been friends with a lot of folk, and it's just recently that I've actually followed their Instagram account, because my focus on my business page has always been about me learning from people who have reached the level of success that I'm trying to get to. So those are typically the people I follow. And so as far as following, you know, like, I give you for instance, my girlfriend Kedby, like, that's my G, that's my homie. I just started following her this year, right? Craziness. But it's because her lane is baked goods, is cakes. She posts beautiful cakes, and I'm inspired by everything she posts. But my mindset, as far as my Petite Cease page, is always about, how am I getting this money? How am I expanding my brand? How am I looking for the next opportunity, the next investor, the next potential client? So that's who I'm following. And that is something that a lot of people, you know, they get in their feelings about. Like, how you not following me or blah, blah, blah. You got to look outside that box. You really have to. But anyway, I'm about to be at 20 minutes and I want to cut this off. But it was good today.